gotten it. I'm gonna get that game when it fully comes out. I'm not gonna get it later because
yeah.
I'm very hesitant to get a game of that scope early access, just because I just don't feel comfortable with it. You know.
Yeah.
Especially paying $60 for it. Now, if they had been like, okay, it's 30 right now, and then over time we'll get we'll raise the price as more content is added. But the way they're charging it now, it's like, okay, here's a car that has none of the extra features that come with a car of this price. Like, let's say it's 20,000, but it doesn't have power windows. It doesn't have Bluetooth support. It doesn't have power steering. It doesn't have power seats. It doesn't have it only has AM. It doesn't have FM. But they're like, but we'll add that later on. It's like, look, I'm paying for a full price car. I should get the full features.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I don't know why they just couldn't charge $30 for the early access and maybe charge $60 when it fully released for,
Yeah.
At least incentivize early people to, get into the game. Like,
Well, sorry, a lot of games in early access do that. Like when they first go into early access, they're like, $17.99, and then as more content is added, they go up to like 20 and then 25. So I mean, I don't know why they did it that way. It's just kind of weird to me. But
yeah.
To each his own. But yeah. Anyway, we're live with another episode of BS Busters. I'm joined by Jewel Rider Moonstar and Kenoshi Abominito, but I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
The usual suspect.
Yeah, I'm going to let them introduce themselves, starting with the lady first.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, bicycles of all ages, to the BS Busters Movie Podcast. I'm Joe Moonstar, and before I forget, don't forget to respect your veterans on Veterans Day tomorrow. With that said, Sega, what in the world are you up to with Microsoft this time?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's a little weird. Kenoshi?
This is Kenoshi Abominito. Here to say that we do unpopular opinions on Wednesdays, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say that my unpopular opinion will probably ruffle a few feathers.
All right.
When we get to that section.
Okay. I mean, everyone is entitled to an unpopular opinion. Like, a lot of people get angry. Well, I mean, here's what I'm going to say. Everyone is entitled to their unpopular opinion. And everyone's allowed to have an opinion. However, that doesn't mean that you're exempt from judgment or societal consequences for your opinion. It just means you're allowed to have it, and no one can throw you in jail over it. Unless you're hurting other people with that opinion. So anyway, it's Mr. Red Fox. We have a full roster. Well, not full, but the normal 4 or 5 topics. Plus, we have some free topics that I wanted to throw in there because I was like, this is kind of interesting. I think you guys might want to talk about it. So, we have 5 topics tonight. Nintendo's going deeper into our thoughts on Nintendo's investments into a better online service because this came from the horse's mouth. Furukawa himself, he said, look, we have to make our online better than it is right now. Sega's Super Games Initiative with Microsoft. I don't know what that means. It's a whole bunch of new age management power talk that doesn't tell you anything about what's actually going on, aside from they're doing something with Microsoft and it involves cloud gaming. That's all we know. Ubisoft trying to retain talent with a hinky as hell pay raise scheme. So basically, from what I've managed to glean from looking it up on various gaming news sites, is they're raising the price of some of their developers, but it's based upon what you've already making. So if you aren't getting paid a lot anyway, your pay raise is negligible. But if you're one of the higher earners, you're going to get more money. So
Yeah.
yeah, while also not really dealing with the underlying issues that Ubisoft has had, which is the whole hostile work environment, uncomfortable touching. That guy who the one guy, one of the few people they did fire was the guy who made those rape a woman until her mind opens. Sorry, not rape. Sodomize a woman until her mind opens because she was questioning his judgment. And then free topic, which we have some other free topics to cover, and then unpopular opinions. So let's dive into it with the first topic, which is, so what would you guys like to see in, with Nintendo's online investments? Who wants to go first? Into their infrastructure, sorry.
I mean, for starters, a proper voice chats feature that you don't have to use your phone in order to use. I think that's.
Well, I hate to
I
break
mean,
this to you,
I get why they did it, but it just doesn't make sense. I mean, it
I
makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't.
I hate to break this to people, but the reason that the switches online is like that has nothing to do with their online infrastructure and everything to do with the architecture of the Switch. Because there's a certain amount of bandwidth that the system uses, and it's just automatically being used for streaming content to the Switch and the internet connection. There's nothing left. There's no bandwidth left. There's no data bandwidth left for voice chat.
Oh.
Yeah. So literally, they would have to basically just make a new, either make a new model, which Nintendo's cheap, they ain't doing that, or, I mean, I agree. Like, you shouldn't have to have a secondary device in order to have voice chat on a, $350 console. That's not fair equity, but to each his own.
So they cheaped out on the bandwidth. I mean, honestly, in defense of Nintendo, a lot of the voice chat features have never been particularly that great on the other consoles. They sound pretty terrible.
I mean, the best you're gonna get is Xbox Live, but I mean, I mean, like Xbox Live is the clearest you're gonna get, but on Xbox Live, I mean, unless you like hearing little 12, 13-year-old kids call you a F word, this uses a pejorative slang term for gay people.
Say, unless you enjoy a storm of insults, tirades, name calling, graphical ideals of what they think of you.
Yeah, or how they slept with my mom, and I'm like I remember.
It's probably good that we have some structures like Discord to talk with.
I mean, the great thing about Discord is that Discord is free, which I like. Google Plus, I used to use Google Plus for voice chat on the Wii U. I mean, I'm not against voice chat in gaming, especially if you're playing and I'm saying this as someone who has played a lot of MMOs and stuff where voice chat is actually really integral when you're doing like large scale raids and stuff like that. I'm not against voice chat in gaming. What I am against is, uh, you know, the wild wild west that we have on PlayStation and Microsoft and um, you know, like where people can just say just really messed up stuff and there's no consequences.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why I'm glad that there's no voice chat in some games.
You know, I mean, I think in a perfect world you would have a happy medium. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So if anything, as I said, it sometimes makes me glad that there's some games that don't have voice chat
Well, I mean, I
because
understand. No, go ahead. Sorry.
because you because if anything, you likely heard all kinds of colorful language given to you when you do certain actions.
Yeah, I have, but I mean that's one of the reasons why for so long I really wasn't into playing online games on Xbox. Because on PC, the cool thing is that you could ban someone if they were being abusive. You could like block them, ban them, no problem. If you were the host, you could kick someone and like make sure that whoever that IP address could never hook up onto your private server, and that was cool. You don't have that on consoles, I don't think. Now I could be wrong, but I don't think you don't have that on consoles. You can report people, but I mean, good luck anything
I was
happening,
gonna say
or people having gamer tags that have like some really bad slurs. Um, I mean, like I just, but I don't think the solution is to have no voice chat or to have really, really shitty voice chat.
I
I
said
don't think that's the other way,
as I said, there's some. I'm saying that I'm glad for some games that don't have voice chat, but other times I have to feel sorry for some people because they're working. Because if anything, one of the things I would agree with having voice chat is team-based games.
Well, yeah. I mean, team-based games, or even just if you're like playing a game where there's a group of you doing something, I don't think that voice chat, like, you know,
Yeah. Uh, if anything, I keep that in mind because if anything, there some when you're playing group games, sometimes the game matters between certain choices, and if you choose wrong, you might not be able to let be let off easy for all the things you do afterwards. Oh
yeah,
god.
yeah. Sometimes you just, communication matters. Um, I mean, is there anything you would like to see on Nintendo's infrastructure that they're investing on? And let me add the
Um.
caveat. Because I mean, anything that they do is not going to happen. Like, just I mean, hey, we said this.
It's not going to be instant.
Yeah, it's not going to. Don't expect any of this to really benefit the Switch because at this point, the Switch is reaching the end of its life cycle. Versus, like if you expect like okay, if Nintendo had said we are putting money into upgrading our infrastructure 2 years ago, then you could say I want this on the Switch like now. But since they're adding it now and the Switch is like 5 years old commercially at this point, you're probably not going to see it um, on the Switch anytime
Oh,
soon, if ever.
yeah, I was going to say that for me, I would actually at least want to know I at least want to have a little icon somewhere on the screen or somewhere on the console. Let me know about my signal. At least let me know if I'm in threatening of being kicked off if I'm doing something online.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Um,
At
could
least that will give me some idea of what's going on.
All right. Kenoshi, you have any other ones before I give mine?
Yeah, a virtual console in which you can actually download the games and playing them offline.
So you want Nintendo Online giving you the option to buy the games and not just kind of rent them for a time until they're taken off the thing?
E- Exactly.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. Um, Personally, and this is just me. Um, what I would like to see from Nintendo's online investment, I just want there to be better netcode for the online games. Um, there's too many online games that I've
Oh,
played. Uh, this is a back end thing. There's too many online games that I've played on Nintendo Switch that, um, like, remember when Splatoon 2 first came out and the online connectivity issues? It was like Splatoon 1 all over again. In terms of like people dropping out of matches and stuff like that. Like it was just not good. And I'm like, okay, you have a game where the vast majority of it is an online gaming experience and you haven't figured this out. Like you haven't
Yeah.
this isn't better. Like if you have a game where online is a small portion of it, then it doesn't really matter if the online's kind of like Smash Brothers Brawl, right? Smash Brothers Brawl, the vast majority of that game was meant to be played on local multiplayer, right? It had online, but that really wasn't the focus. So I didn't feel bad about the online of that game being kind of not good. But the Switch is an online console, you know? Like out of the box, it supports like Wi-Fi and wireless internet connections. So how the hell do you have games for the system where the online internet connection uh that people are dropping? Like I you know,
mm.
you can't have that. I can't tell you the amount of matches I had in Splatoon 2 where I'm playing my ass off and then someone drops and like it's very rare. Like once you get to high level play, it's very rare. Like in the beginning, if you're really good, you can lose someone and still win a match if you play really aggressively. But at high level play, that shit doesn't work because everyone's like doing their A game.
Yeah.
So you lose a match that didn't have to be lost because of shit netcode or shit connection on the back end. You know, so that's not cool to me. And I hope that they upgrade their online to be better. Cause
And you wonder why at least said that there should be at least a signal on the on the console that gets the updated net code. I mean, updated internet service of it. At least that way you know what's going on and
I
measure what's going on and speak out about it.
I agree with you, but there's just one small problem. I have like the best internet you can get commercially in America. That's in enough places. I have FiOS. Okay, so if something's dropping, it's not because my internet connection sucks. You know what I'm saying. Um,
Hmm.
so you know that's on that's an infrastructure thing. That's not me. You know. That old adage, like when you break up someone, they use it's not you, it's me. No, it's not me, it's you. It's them. They're the ones who are messing it up for everybody else.
Mm.
And I don't want I mean, having a good online doesn't matter if you have a game that doesn't have a lot of online components or the online components are negligible. Like what was it called? Like the online component in what was it called? Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Oh yeah.
That was very lightly implemented. So if the online wasn't that good, it really didn't matter because it wasn't like a major part of how the game was made. Hello, Kirby Lover 03.
Hey.
But I'm just saying it could be better. I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying it could be better. Like for me, voice chat. I mean, there's so many other ways that you can use voice chat than going through the console. Like, so I'm not like really, oh my god, I have to have voice chat on console. But I have played a lot of Nintendo online games that are heavily online implemented where I had stuff dropping. I had a lot of lag, and I know it wasn't me. So, you know, if that means investing, and because right now, from what I heard, the reason that their online is like that is because they're using servers from Amazon or Google, like third-party servers. But if that means they have to build their own online service just for them that doesn't have to be shared amongst a lot of people, then so be it. I mean, you know, I mean, that's better than what we're getting, which is, like I said, I mean, how many people here have played Smash Brothers and had some matches run really well, and then other matches, it's like you're playing, like the frames are dipping, people drop out, or they're like skipping around, and I'm like, come on, man, this is unacceptable.
That's definitely me.
You know, and part of that,
one out of every 30 one of 300 matches.
All right, okay, and good for you. You're one of the lucky ones. When I had my Smash Brothers, it was more than that. One out of every 20, I would have a match that was like that.
What about when you played Brawl?
I didn't play Brawls online. I played Brawl strictly.
Oh god,
Brawls
that was
online
1 in 10 for me.
Yeah, I knew Brawls online was terrible, so I didn't play it online. I played it locally. But here's the irony, right? Since then, I've played Brawl like on my hacked Wii with where I can basically create my own servers and like hook in. No problem. No problem. No problem playing that game. No lag. Plays just fine against other people online. So clearly, that's on them. That's their connection, not my connection. Also, my hacked Wii. I have the Wii thing that you could put your Ethernet into. So, like, you know, high-speed internet connection on my Wii, or as high speed as the cheap Ethernet card in the Wii will allow. It's because it's you know, Nintendo doesn't splurge on Ethernet cards for their consoles. I don't know why.
Oh.
But like if you have 100 megabyte up, 100 megabyte down connection on your on your internet, your Switch will only take advantage of like 35 of that. Which means like you're always going to be at a disadvantage at games that require high-speed internet connection, which kind of sucks. So
Like they're improving.
I mean, they say they're going to spend $400 million to improve it. The way I feel about it is, I mean, that's great, but it's going to take 2 or 3 years to really get that going. And you're probably not going to see the improvements on the Switch. You're probably going to see it on the next gaming device Nintendo comes out with, like mainline gaming device.
Yeah.
Because it takes years to build infrastructure for a gaming system. Like it took Microsoft years to build Xbox Live to what it is now. It didn't
Mhm.
happen overnight. And arguably, Xbox Live is the best, like on console gaming experience. And Xbox Live, I mean, just keeping it real, is kind of like a lesser version of what you get off of a PC. It's like PC internet connection light. It's not great, but it's better. It's the best. It's the best we have on a console, but that's really not that good either. It's just the best we have on a console.
I see.
You know.
One other thing I hope for if they improve the internet stuff a bit, bring back the me the me pla- the me plaza me plaza stuff.
Yeah, I mean, considering that the Switch is basically the successor for Nintendo's handhelds, I mean, why get rid of Me Plaza? Also, here's a minor thing. I don't know how much of this is an infrastructure thing and how much of this is just a system UI thing. Folders. Folders.
Yeah.
Folders.
Yeah. Why aren't there folders?
Folders. I should be able to organize my downloaded games on my Switch. Folders. Because I have like 50 games on the Switch. And like 35 of those are downloaded games. That's just not cool, man. Like the you know, like the 3DS had folders, but not now. I'm like, how do you not have folders, man? But yeah, that's my not cool about that. But anyone else have anything else they want them to invest in before we move on to the next topic? Nothing?
I want them to invest in more of their internal studios so they can make more games.
Yeah, they're already spending like almost a hundred. They're spending like $880 million on that right now.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah, they're doing that.
Well, hopefully they don't make the Wii U ports. Like,
You're tired of the Wii U ports?
yes.
I agree. I'm like, could you guys make something new, please? Please. Please.
Yeah,
'Cause-
even if it's a bite-sized game, like, I would take it.
Yeah, like that UFO
Yeah,
game from Hal.
I hope all those people during the PS4, and Wii U, and Xbox One generation that were complaining about ports or laughing at Microsoft and Sony about ports. I hope they're eating a nice big helping of
Humble
Crow
Pie.
because
Yes.
Humble
Yeah.
Pie,
Crow.
yeah, Humble Pie, Crow.
I get it. I mean, look, I'm going to keep it 100%, okay? I was one of those people that picked on those people, but unlike the people who own a Switch and just bought all of these Wii U ports, the only Wii U port that I bought was...
Mario Kart 8.
No, I didn't get Mario Kart 8.
Oh.
What Wii U port? Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It's the only Wii U port I bought for the system. So, you know, I stuck by my guns. But for the people who didn't, yeah, I wish Nintendo would come out with more new games or resurrect old IPs. Because when you have an audience of 100 million people who own Switches, or at least 100 million units sold, because we don't necessarily know if that because I know there are people who bought multiple Switches. There are people who have like, you know, they have a Switch that they have at the house, and then they have a Switch Mini that they travel with, stuff like that. Or sorry, a Switch Lite. I don't know why I said a Switch Mini. A Switch Lite. So, I'm not gonna make I'm not gonna say like there's 100 million people, because I know there are people who, like, if you're a family, right, and your family, like the dad or the mom have a Switch, and then they have two kids, and like each of the kids has a Switch Lite, something like that. So, but anyway, let's keep it moving. Anyone have anything else before we move on to the next topic? That they want Nintendo to invest in the infrastructure that they're investing, that they want from their infrastructure.
Not that I know of on the spot.
All right. So here we go.
So isn't this topic about Nintendo's former rival?
Yeah, Sega has announced that they are entering into a Super Games initiative with Microsoft, where they're teaming up with Microsoft in order to create a super game that's gonna change the future of gaming. Um, I mean, I don't know about you, but it sounded like a whole bunch of BS to me. Like,
I was about to
It's
say
not-
that's basically hype words.
yeah, it sounds like anyone who's taken a business course or been in private industry, a lot of power talk, marketing power talk to make something sound more exciting than it really is.
Right.
Now, I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I'm just saying. That's what I.
Remember when Sega partnered with Nintendo to make 3 Sonic games?
Yeah, and they were all terrible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the last time Sega teamed up with Microsoft in any meaningful way was the Dreamcast.
Wasn't that the Dreamcast?
Yeah, the Dreamcast, which, I mean, was the most pirated system ever, most pirated commercial system ever. So,
Yeah. Har. Yeah, which doesn't give me much hope to see what happens when those two team up again.
I mean, I hope something good comes out of it, but I'm not exactly.
A flutter.
Yeah, my heart isn't a quiver. Like, oh man, this means Sega's on its way back up. I'm like, hold your horses. Don't start popping champagne bottles yet. don't don't start popping. You know.
Maybe that's what I should do after Intel Direct. The good Intel Direct is pop champagne bottles.
You could, if you buy some champagne or buy some sparkling cider or whatever. It's like, yeah, it was great, bro. I mean, I don't know, man. All I'm saying is this: the last time I enjoyed, I legitimately I mean, Sega has not been doing well lately. They haven't been doing great. Phantasy Star Online finally came to the West through a partnership with Microsoft, and it's okay. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Phantasy Star when I was in college. That used to be my wind down game. Like, I would go and do a lot of work. Like that's what I would play in order to relax, was Phantasy Star Online on my GameCube.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
Did a lot of people at your college play video games?
Oh yeah.
Or was it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. That was it was either play video games or binge drink. And I wasn't into binge drinking, so I played video games.
I was going to say, hopefully you at least be sure to drink responsibly.
No. I never really was comfortable drinking with kids, because, like, I had a roommate who used to get drunk, and they would paint pictures of male genitals on his face. Yeah, he was that
They
guy.
were that rude when you were drunk.
Well, not me, because like I said, I didn't get drunk around those people
I was
because
saying they were that rude.
they were d-bags. But yeah, he was that guy. He also this was the same dude who used to do really disgusting things in the room while I was there with him, and he used to drink people's booze, and he didn't put any money down, so he was like stealing alcohol from people and going into their room and stealing their care packages. He was kind of a d-bag.
Hopefully you got him out of your place.
Well, no, I like all the stuff that he did. What I basically did was I called the camp counselor. I mean the A shit. You know the person in the dorm that's like normally like a year above or 2 years above, that basically the TA, the dorm person, and like I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, this guy is off
Dorm
the
master?
chain. Yeah, the dorm advisor. There it is, the dorm advisor. And
Yeah.
I got him. He basically got kicked out of the dorm, and I got a single room. And because I proved that he was basically creating a hostile living space. And I got a single, so I mean I was happy because I didn't.
That's great.
What?
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like living with people, especially people who did the weird, disgusting stuff he used to do. So I was like, yeah, he's got to. I don't want to be near him because he's a jerk. He's a jerk. So I feel okay about it. Some people, people always say stupid stuff like, well, in college, you're supposed to learn how to live with people. No, in college, you're supposed to learn how to be really uncomfortable while doing tasks.
Yeah.
But this guy took it beyond just being uncomfortable. He was like legitimately
Uncomfortable?
He had some behavioral issues and boundary issues. Like he would go into I caught him like 3 or 4 times going into my care packages. I know he went into other people's care packages. So he had boundary issues. He used to steal people's alcohol. Like I said, he was just not. He was all around just not a good person to be around. So, yeah, kind of a jerk, but he got kicked out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't know what happened to him after he got kicked out of the dorm, but I do know that I don't even know if he graduated. But I do know he had some major behavioral issues. I was like, yeah, he's kind of a d-bag. Anyway, so yeah, but back on point. Yeah, Sega is working with Microsoft on their Super Games Initiative. We really don't know anything about their Super Games Initiative. We have no information on what it is, anything like that. But I'm just hoping that whatever it is isn't the rumored Sonic game that they're supposedly working on as well. How you like that segue? So basically, there's a rumor. There is a rumor that Sega is working on a Sonic game. Now we know that they're always working on a Sonic game, especially a 3D Sonic game. But it's called Sonic Frontiers in Japan, and so what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think that possibly they're working on a Sonic MMO, or something cloud-based along with Microsoft, and that's what's really going on here? Could that be the case?
Well, the thing is, right? I guess it's going to be a collection of super games. So it's I don't know. Could could it be their Sonic game? Starting it off. I don't know. Probably not, because they're not very. They don't seem to be very ambitious with their Sonic games, and when they are, and when it doesn't turn out as well as they hoped it turned out, they usually just give up on the project pretty quickly.
Yeah, rather than refine the gameplay, they just give up and go do something else. Sega's very, you know, they're just very unambitious with their Sonic games.
Yeah.
Like they got a deal to do a Mario and Sonic at the a Mario and Sonic game, and rather than do something cool like the combining the gameplay of a Mario game with a Sonic game,
Yes.
no, we get Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
It's just mini games. Yeah.
Which is just it's just a series of mini games. I mean, Sega just kind of like when people say what happened to Sega, the Sega that you grew up with that like literally stormed into the market in '89 and took like a market that Nintendo used to dominate and took it out in a matter of 2 years. And basically, like when Nintendo introduced the SNES, Sega had like 70% of the market. Okay, and over time, Nintendo came back and took back their market share, but it was, they Sega gave them a run for the money. That Sega's gone. That Sega is dead and buried. Okay, it doesn't exist anymore. Okay.
I heard a lot of people left during like the Sonic games after Sonic Adventure 2.
I mean, that's a part of it. Also, Sega just kind of was poorly run. Like, okay, this was during the Sega Genesis era, okay? Sega of Japan got jealous of the success of Sega of America. And they went out of their way to basically, sabotage Sega of America when they did have successes. Like, Eternal Champions did pretty well on the Sega Genesis. And Sega of America was going to make a sequel. And Sega of Japan, rather than actually split the marketing budget so that they could have two really good for a sequel, they said we're going to cancel the sequel to Eternal Champions, a game that a lot of Sega fans liked, and and so that they could port Virtua Fighter 2. You know that really bad Virtua Fighter 2 port on the Sega Genesis that's just a 2D fighter? Yeah, they literally that's what they basically a game that was homegrown that they owned. They I mean that's the type of petty stuff that Sega of Japan did to Sega of America. And a house divided against itself will not stand. And that's why Sega is the way it is now, because basically Sega was just filled with petty rivalries. It was just a poorly run company. Like, just really poorly run. Everyone likes to say Nintendo beat Sega, Sony beat Sega. Sega beat Sega. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, Microsoft and Nintendo and Sony helped, but ultimately the one who kicked Sega's behind was Sega. Because they were just poorly run. Speaking of companies being poorly run, segue, Ubisoft is trying to retain talent by giving pay raises to some of their staff. But here's the thing. They aren't giving pay raises to the staff
Please
that aren't...
tell me I was about to say, please tell me that they're doing pay raises smartly, because I have a feeling it's not.
You are correct. It is not. They aren't giving pay raises to their lower paid coders and developers. No. They're giving pay raises to people who already are being highly paid. They're just giving them more money. This on top of them just firing a few token people and then shuffling other people around who were with that fiasco that came out last year where we found out that Ubisoft had a really hostile work environment and very anti-woman, anti-people who are different, just like a real terrible place to work. So yeah, Ubisoft, just like really not really holding it together. Just you know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Your guys' thoughts on this?
Why am I not surprised? But then again, if it's not these guys, it's Blizzard, and it's like watching two spoiled brats do more stupid.
Yeah, basically. You know. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't even say spoiled brats. It's like watching two frat bros they're both total douchebags, and they're both jackasses. But you're like, I mean, they both need to get kicked in the butt.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ubisoft just jerk studio. So let's get to some of these free topics. We already covered one of them, which is Sonic Frontiers gets a trademark from Sega of Japan. Another free topic: Hideki Kamiya has a story and gameplay ideas for Okami sequel. So here's the question I put to you guys: if there was an Okami sequel, what would you like to see in it? Who wants to dive first into that pool?
Hopefully one Orochi battle, period.
What, you
Unless
didn't
it's a
like
boss
fighting
rush.
Orochi 3 times?
I only I was okay with fighting them once. A little iffy because it was a boss rush.
Yeah, you
Three
fight.
times.
Yeah, you fight him 3 times in that game.
Do you fight him 3 separate times, or is it like a 3-stage?
It's
Like
three
long
times.
stage?
You fight him 3 separate times. The first time you fight Orochi, you fight like a weakened version of Orochi. The second time you fight Orochi, you fight the powered up original Orochi with Izanagi. And then because you go back in time through a time gate, and then the third time you fight Orochi,
It's a boss rush.
yeah, it's a boss rush on the Moon Arc where basically the ancients came from, where they boarded the ship because their planet was being taken over by Yami and the evil creatures, but somehow they stuck on board anyway and killed all of them except for the sage. What's his name? Wada, whatever. The sage who basically like has the moon ears and stuff and plays the flute, who turns out to be Okami's former master. He basically is like, yeah, I was one of the few who escaped. And so, like, you have to fight a boss rush against all these former bosses. Plus, you have to fight Yami, who steals your celestial powers, leaving you only one in the beginning of the fight, which is the ability to
Do attacks.
No. He takes all of your abilities except for the one, which is you can make the sun shine. And then as the fight goes on, you get your celestial abilities back to do damage and stuff like that. But it's Okami is a great game. I would say I can say this with absolute certainty. Okami is one of the best Platinum games / Clover games. It's one of the best games Hideki Kamiya ever made. Because it has a good difficulty curve. For Platinum, it has a good difficulty curve. Although some of the demon doors, like some of the later demon doors, are damn near impossible to beat. You have to like have like a smartphone with a slowdown function and record function in order to figure out some of those demon door puzzles. But Okami is not. But yeah, I agree with you. Yes, not having a lot of not having to face
repeat fights.
Yeah, not having a lot of repeat fights is because there should have like
Yeah.
not unless.
I mean, if anything, I at least hoped for only two times to battle one boss in certain games.
Well, story-wise,
One
it
is
made
for the
sense.
normal playthrough, and yeah.
I mean, at least Okami story-wise, it made sense for there to be multiple fights. So it wasn't a lazy just, we need to have a boss. It kind of made sense in context of the story. But Kanoshi, do you have anything you want to see in an Okami sequel?
No, I haven't really played through Okami enough to.
All right. Okay. Um, Kirby, you have anything you want to see in a Okami sequel?
I want to say, I haven't really played the game. Maybe have it cross over with The Last of Us. Okay, I'm just kidding, but
How dare you, sir? I'm being facetious, by the way.
I see. Well, I've seen gameplay of it. It's an arts and crafts game, sort of. But
What, Okami?
yeah.
No, it isn't.
But
Have you
it's
played
got
Have you
drawing in
played
it.
3D Legend of Zelda games?
Yes.
It's basically a 3D Legend of Zelda game, except instead of you using tools like Link does in most of his games, you have celestial brush techniques that you use to essentially.
Oh, that's what I was trying to say. It's like, it's unique.
Yeah, but I mean, it's basically a Legend of Zelda game, though. Like, there's
Oh, okay,
dungeons, there's items, you can use money to buy stuff, there's fishing. Ironically, Okami has better fishing than Breath of the Wild, because in Breath of the Wild, there's no fishing. But yeah, but that's just how it is. So you haven't played the game, not really. Kanoshi hasn't really played the game, so I guess I'll give what I'd like to see in a.
I at least tried to play the game, though if anything, you could tell where my patience wore thin.
Yeah, well, Okami's one of my favorite games of all time because I'm a 3D Legend of Zelda freak. Like most of them, I like games that kind of take that action adventure formula and do something different with it. So I actually like Okami. It's like I said, it's one of my favorite platinum / Clover / Hideki Kamiya games. Um, but for a sequel, I would like to see tighter controls for the overworld because controlling your character in the overworld is a little rough in Okami. It gets the job done, but it's not as smooth as it could be. I would like to see a bigger overworld because you basically are hitting like bits and pieces of Japan. I think it would be cool because Okami basically has a lot of Japanese mythology and folklore in it. So I think in a sequel they should expand it and maybe have even more Japanese mythology and folklore. Maybe have Okami team up with uh, characters from Japanese folklore like Momotaro and Peach Boy, stuff like that. Um, Katetsu, creatures like that. Have more monsters to fight. Like you have a lot of like oni and demons and stuff, but there's even more creatures in Japanese mythology that you could have, like Tengu. Well, they have Tengu in Okami, but like other Japanese creatures and monsters. Heck, you could even bring that weird chick from The Ring in there. um, so more areas to explore, a larger kind of open world to explore, like more areas, more cities, um, all that type of fun jazz. Yeah, that's about it. Don't really have a, you know.
Not a lot to work with.
I mean, that's plenty. A bigger open world. Uh, More weapons, perhaps, because Although the combat in Okami, because this is a platinum game, is pretty good. Like you have swords, you have beads, you have mirrors, and depending on how like what you have equipped as your primary and secondary, you can change it up from being like a hack and slasher to being a brawler. Because if you equip certain weapons as your primary and secondary, you can do stuff like grab enemies and pile drive them. It turns into a fighting game. It's ridiculous. Um, Kami's really good. You know, if you guys ever get a chance to get it on sale, it goes on sale every few years, a few months or so, a few years or so. Go for it.
It's only like it's like only like $20 on Steam.
Yeah, but I mean, like I got mine when it was like $9 on a Steam sale because I've already bought Okami multiple times. Like I have a copy for the PS1, for the PS2. I have a copy for the PS3, the digital version. I have a copy for the Wii. I have a copy for on PC. I'm an Okami maniac. I have supported the heck out of that game. I'm pretty sure. Look, the reason that game, I hold a torch for Okami because it's that good. I should do a podcast. I should do a video just talking about like Legend of Zelda games that aren't Legend of Zelda, but take the formula.
Yes.
Because Okami really is one of those games. Like if you like 3D Legend of Zelda games, but you want a different twist to it, Okami. But anyway, I guess it's time to move on to our next topic, which is oh wait, we already talked about this last night on your cast, Kanoshi. But I guess I'll announce it here. Star Wars Rogue Squadron, the movie, has been reportedly delayed. It's been indefinitely delayed so that they could focus on the High Republic. So there you go.
What's the High Republic?
Apparently, it's a movie that takes place during the time, like where the Republic wasn't falling apart internally due to the machinations of, you know, Darth Sidious.
Kathleen.
Like it's like when the Republic still had their stuff together and the Jedi weren't being taken down by the Sith internally. It's basically what it is. Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly. I don't like that's
Weird. Didn't that stuff already happen in Star Wars Episode 3?
No, because the entire time during the prequel trilogy, you had Darth Sidious using Dark Force to Dark Force abilities to cloud the vision of the Jedi, and to
Are they gonna
entrap
learn?
them.
Are they gonna learn their lesson? Are they gonna learn their lesson?
I mean, it could be an interesting
Star Wars?
movie if it's done well, but I mean, you know, I don't have faith in Kathleen Kennedy.
He's still on the Star Wars projects.
Ostensibly, her name is still. She's still the person in charge. Ostensibly, I'm being.
Well,
Look, I said ostensibly.
Then they're okay. Because I was gonna say, because they're then they haven't learned their lesson yet. If they haven't gotten rid of that woman.
Yeah, she has not. She's not done a good job. But you know. So apparently, it's been delayed. Rogue Squadron would have gone about the pilots of the rebellion and basically chronicling their battles against the Empire. Sounds cool because I actually was one of those people who liked those parts in Star Wars films where they had the ship battles. I always thought those were kind of cool. Like Rogue One had some pretty cool ship battles. Like I think every Star Wars film except for the prequel trilogy, I mean the sequel trilogy, has had really good space battles.
At least in one of their movies.
No, just I mean, you know, they like the prequel trilogy had good space battles. The original trilogy had good space battles. Like it wasn't until the prequel trilogy that the space battles just got like kind of ridiculous.
Bland.
Well, just ridiculous. Just like it's like
I would say don't get me started on the warp jump attack.
Yeah, I was like, so let me get
Oh,
this straight.
God.
You guys have known for years that you could have that if you have a ship go hyperdrive into another ship, you could do this type of damage. Why hasn't anyone created ships piloted by AI or an AI subroutine and crashed them into Imperial ships? Like, it's just like the entire sequel trilogy is just a series of like these are just like universe breaking revelations that make the rest of the universe, that cheapen everything else that's gone on.
Yeah.
Because why do you need a?
This is one of those. I think that's one of the things that you never want to introduce into your story.
Like here's the thing. Why do you need to do a Death Star trench run if you could just simply take a starfighter with hyperspeed capabilities and kamikaze that into the Death Star, the original Death Star? See, that's why stuff like that is just stupid. It just it negates everything else that came.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm saying is this: Disney Star Wars is stupid. Okay,
I guess you're right.
It's even stupider than Star Wars was when, like, the prequel trilogy with George Lucas, because they were building up to something. This, like, the sequel trilogy, it's like Disney had no idea what they were doing. But that's neither here nor there. So, anything you guys want to add about the Rogue Squadron movie reportedly being delayed? If not, then we will move on to the rest of Free Topic and then wrap things up.
I'm just waiting for Kathleen to get booted out already.
Yeah, she's got to go.
Why can't they hire some Star Wars fans?
That's a good question.
Maybe they are.
They really should. I mean, like, people want, like, the reason that The Mandalorian was so good was that it was run by people who were Star Wars fans.
Oh.
like it's amazing when you actually hire people in charge of an IP who actually like the IP, you get a better product. I know, it's surprising, isn't it? I'm being facetious, by the way.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm being sarcastic. But anyway, anything else anyone wants to add about Rogue Squadron before we move on to the final topic?
I think I'm set.
All right. Our final topic is unpopular opinions. So, Kenoshi said that he had an unpopular opinion he wanted to share that was going to ruffle some people's feathers. So I'm going to let him get his out first. Go ahead, Kenoshi. Give your unpopular opinion.
All right. My unpopular opinion is that the Frieza versus Goku battle and the on Namek, it was badly written. It was a cool battle, but it was badly written in the sense of how the battle was carried out. It's a 5-minute. It was supposed. So Frieza set a bomb on the on Namek, giving the planet 5 minutes before it exploded. But the way it was written, it felt a lot more like an hour, because especially with the anime, it was like 6 episodes before it was all said and done.
Yeah,
I don't remember. It was,
no, I understand where you're coming from, but continue.
But they should have gotten all. They should have gotten all the exposition out of the way before Frieza set the bomb, and there should have only been at least, like 2, possibly 3 episodes of just nonstop action, and then just wrap it up that way. I don't understand. You create this scenario where something terrible is about to happen,
where it's supposed to be only
and you
5
have
minutes,
all this, and you have all this exposition. It's just like, couldn't you have gotten that out of the way before? So, okay.
I agree. But here's what I'm going to say. I agree with you, but I'm going to make an excuse for it. And don't jump down my throat before you hear the reason. Dragon
Oh,
Ball
this
Z.
might be good.
That fight between Frieza and Goku is supposed to mimic the way the tension goes back and forth in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
what they were emulating. Like, it was supposed to be this, you know.
I get it. They were trying to create tension, but you know, meet me halfway, anime. Meet me halfway, at least.
I get it.
I'm no
just, you know.
wrestling fan, so if anything, I already know wrestling's as fake as it is real.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just simply saying that that's what they were going for. That's what they were trying to do, was kind of have that level of tension where it's like, will they, won't they? But the thing is that it didn't work because, well, it worked for the first half of that fight. Like, but actually before then, like the preamble to the fight, like seeing Goku, like I'm using Kaioken at the max, and he's still getting his ass kicked by Frieza. So, and him pushing past his limits during the fight, like the preamble leading up to Goku going Super Saiyan is all really cool. Once he goes Super Saiyan, I agree with you. It should have been just Goku kicking Frieza's ass. Like, it shouldn't have, like that. Yeah. All of that stuff after that was just, okay, we already know he's gone Super Saiyan. They're like, this is the end of it. But they had to keep it going because they had to have more episodes. Because, you know, for AKA commercials and stuff.
Filler!
AKA filler. You know,
and
anime's always had filler.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the kind of filler that ruins TV series.
Well, some series have filler, but there's character development in the filler. Like One Piece, I know a lot of people get mad at One Piece.
I would say that it's the kind of filler that kills shows.
Well, One Piece has filler, but there's character development in the filler. Like, you know, like One Piece will have a movie, but there's character development in the movie. One Piece will have a filler story arc, but there's character development. Like, characters gain new skills and abilities and become more knowledgeable. Like Usopp, when you first meet him, he's annoying. It's like, well, just kill this guy and get over it. But over time, Usopp becomes a much better character. You know, he becomes a better person.
He gains backbone.
You know, like Roronoa Zoro, who already in the beginning is a badass, becomes more of a badass through training. You know, you know. So, I mean, filler isn't inherently bad. It's how it's used. Dragon Ball Z is notorious for having bad filler. I will agree with you. It's notorious. The anime is notorious for having bad filler.
I would compare that to Naruto's filler.
Naruto has terrible filler too. As a matter of fact, Naruto has worse filler because Naruto's filler, like Dragon Ball Z built the shonen genre. So it's like when you're an OG, you can kind of get a little bit of slack because you're grandfathered in. No one had established the formula yet. But Naruto came about way after Dragon Ball Z. So it should have been able to see the errors that were made in Dragon Ball Z and correct them. But no.
And another thing about Naruto filler is that it had filler with even in the mainline story, meaning that they would pad episodes out with flashbacks.
Yep.
That was one of the things that drove me nuts about that series, was the constant flashbacks
and nonsensical.
Why are you doing this?
And nonsensical side stories that had nothing happened. It was like a MacGuffin. It's like, why would you even?
Might as well be watching an episode of Scooby-Doo. That's kind of how I felt about it.
Yeah, but Scooby-Doo at least was interesting. Like, Naruto had some sides where it's like, come on, man. And the thing is like, Naruto would create side characters and not that were interesting. Like, I mean, can we all agree that Rock Lee is a badass enough character that he should have had his own side, like his own anime about him, or like manga about him?
At least give him a story arc. But what do we get?
We get Boruto because, you know, we need to learn about a character who the only reason he exists is because his father was the main character in the original series. you know, he had no character arc. He's just, yeah, my dad is Naruto, and so therefore I get a series. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to say, I think the thing I didn't like about Dragon Ball Z with Goku versus Frieza was that Goku spared Frieza.
I agree.
Like he didn't spare the old Piccolo, and he didn't spare what's his name? Well, yeah, the assassin.
I agree with you, but that's Goku's thing. Goku spared Vegeta. Vegeta, if you follow the Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta is the sole source of most of the problems in Dragon Ball Z. Most of the horrible things that happen to people, Vegeta is the source of
because
them.
his ego.
Really?
No, not even ego. It's just Vegeta is the Tony Stark. He's the Tony Stark of Dragon Ball Z. Think about it. The reason the Nameks were wiped out to almost extinction and had to be wished back and their planet was blown up, Vegeta. Okay, because they had Dragon Balls. Okay, the reason that Majin Buu came about, Vegeta, because he wanted to get the power to defeat Goku. The reason,
And of course,
the reason that
after we forget
Cell,
the android.
the reason that Cell reached his full power is because
true. I didn't
Vegeta.
even think about that.
Vegeta.
Goku should not have spared Vegeta. Okay.
Goku, like that's why I'm saying GT shouldn't have been more Goku. GT should have been Goku dies at the end of the Cell Saga, and now it's up to Gohan, and Gohan basically stepping out of his father's shadow and being a better character. Like at the end of Dragon Ball Z shouldn't have been the Majin Buu saga. It should have been the war between Gohan and Vegeta, and Gohan saying, "I'm going to do something my father never would do because he was too much of a punk. I'm going to kill you." Like this is it. This is the end. The days of you, I'm the prince of all Saiyans, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do in order to become more powerful. You're dead. And like that driving a rift between Bulma and Gohan and their families.
Yamcha?
Like no, well, she dumped Yamcha for Vegeta, so you know, that would have been awesome.
But I was about to say
I felt like
that makes me wonder how her taste is.
That would have been awesome because then Gohan and Trunks would have been okay. Then, like the only person who's really qualified to train Trunks is the strongest Saiyan on Earth, and now that Gohan killed Vegeta, Gohan's the strongest Saiyan on Earth. So you're basically Gohan's going to be training the son of the guy that he killed. And Trunks like, I'm going to have to kill you because you killed my father. So it's like he's training the person who one day potentially is going to try and kill him. So it's like you have this whole dynamic where there's this tension, right? And who is Gohan going to have to who's going to have to be his father's surrogate? Because his father's dead in this headcanon show. Piccolo. Piccolo's gonna have to be his dad. Although, of course, I mean, let's keep it real. Piccolo's like the best father figure in Dragon Ball Z.
yeah, that's the ironic part.
Like Goku was training Gohan to be a little punk, a little whiny crybaby. Piccolo straightened his ass out in a year. Okay, a year. Which is ironic because Piccolo didn't have a father, but Piccolo's more of a father than Goku ever was. So Piccolo's like, you know, you're gonna have to train this kid to be a stand-up person and be a better person than his father was, because Vegeta's a piece of garbage. And like, but the whole time it's like you have this tension between like them having to team up to take on new threats in GT, but also like as Trunks becomes more powerful, Gohan's like, I'm gonna have to be more powerful than this guy because he's gonna try and kill me because I killed his father. Because I was like, you know, I'm tired of his father putting the world and the people I love in danger. You know, because he wants to become more powerful.
Yeah, and another problem, you know, is why you brought up the whole Goku dying. In the latest episode of, I don't really follow the series. I just sometimes there's stuff that pops up in my recommendations of YouTube. Apparently, in the latest episode of, or one of the later episodes of Boruto, Naruto enters this Baryon state, or essentially causes the Nine Tails to. If you're watching the show, if you're actually interested in the show and you haven't seen it, you might want to cover your ears. Well, this Baryon state essentially causes the Nine Tails to die, and I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently I guess the original idea was that it was going to cause both Naruto and the Nine Tails to die, which would actually make more sense. But for some reason, they can't kill off their main character because they'll probably lose more money. So
Yeah.
keep them alive.
I mean, I always thought that because I remember seeing like a old Naruto from the guy who does the ink and the story, where I always thought what they were leading up towards was Naruto would basically like come to an agreement with the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox within him, and he would essentially fuse with the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox and become more animal-like, but it's like controlled animal-like. And that's basically how he would have defeated the final big bad at the end of the original Naruto Shippuden. But they took that idea and shoved it out of an airlock, didn't they?
Yeah.
They defeated the bad guy with the power of friendship. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, that final villain didn't need to exist.
No.
But whatever.
Because they painted themselves in a corner with Madara Uchiha because he was too powerful for everyone else. So, and they kept on escalating it instead of finishing. I mean, I'll keep this real for anyone. The best Naruto series is the original. The original is great.
That's good.
The first half of Shippuden is pretty interesting. The second half, it falls on its ass completely.
Yeah, it becomes too much about like you said, it becomes too obsessed with the Uchiha.
No, I mean, had they kept Madara Uchiha's power level just slightly more than the fifth Hokage, or sorry, the third Hokage, or sorry, the fourth Hokage, who was Naruto's father, if they just had him, okay, he's just the most powerful, and he got passed over because he was too power hungry. Okay, then he wants revenge, and then just had like Naruto basically fuse with the Demon Fox and fight him and kill him. Okay, then that would have been a nice ending. And then, okay, yeah, you have like, and the lesson that Naruto would learn at the end of Shippuden would have been, okay, as a ninja, my job is to make sacrifices, personal sacrifices, to protect my village. So yeah, Sasuke's my friend, but he also tried to destroy my village, so I have to kill him. You have to go. Sorry.
I think rather than chakra just coming from this alien being, the sage instead of the sun, the Sage of Six Paths being the son of that particular alien being, it should have been the Sage of Six Paths because he was referenced throughout the series. Should have been just the first ninja who discovered how to use and control chakra. It's something
it's just natural energy that comes from nature.
Natural.
That would have made more sense.
That would have made more sense. Natural energy that nobody quite understood, but he was one of the first.
Like
to study
the Force.
Yeah,
it's like don't over-explain it.
this whole idea that it came from this alien in this tree.
Yeah, they tried to over-explain it, and it got worse. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem with a lot. Like science fiction benefits from over-explanation because it's rooted in something that people can understand. But when you have something that's fantastical, you don't need to over-explain it because if you do, it's never going to match up to the headcanon that people already have. But enough about that. Anyone else have any unpopular opinions they want to get off? Doesn't have to be video game related. It could also be pop culture. Go ahead.
Okay, so before I want to say my unpopular opinion, I want to say I also did a video on Dragon Ball Z Boost Furry and how it could improve.
All right.
But anyways, my unpopular opinion for today. So on Twitter, I've seen people like saying like, "Oh, it's such a shame that Gen 6 of Pokemon is being praised now because Sword and Shield were so bad." But like in my opinion, Gen 6 wasn't that bad
I agree.
because it did some things that function well as a Pokemon game, like
Yeah.
Mega Evolutions, Fairy type.
You could super train your Pokemon without jumping through a lot of hoops.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Pokemon Mew. Pokemon Mew's fun.
Yeah, yeah. Gen 6 was built to basically like let people who were busy and didn't have a lot of free time get into Pokemon and enjoy all aspects of it without having to spend a lot of time metagaming it, which is great.
Yeah, I just wish it had a better story and more content.
I mean, the
I agree
story of
there.
the story of Pokemon Gen 6 was basically just a lesser version of Team Rocket trying to take over the world. That's all it was. It was basically the villain of that game was just it's not Giovanni trying to take over the world. Like everyone has to die in order to save the Pokemon. Really? It's like, really? That's what you want to do, dude?
Yeah.
Like, why does everyone have to die because you want to free the Pokemon? Like, I don't get that. Why does everyone have to die? Why? You D-bag. Lysander, yeah. Defeating Lysander was good, though.
Yeah.
Like, he's...
F you, yes.
He's got his Mega Evolution. He's like, yeah, I'm so badass. It's like, you got a Mega Evolution? I got a Mega Evolution. Let's see who wins. Yeah, how you like that, Lysander?
And you want to make it even easier curve stomping against Lysander? Use the legendary you caught in X against him when he uses his Mega.
Yeah, I didn't do that. What I did when I was facing him was I used the traded Mega Mewtwo I got from the other game. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do what Giovanni did to Red in the manga. Where he darn near killed his Pokemon with the super genetically engineered Pokemon Mewtwo. And I'm like, yeah, your Pokemon didn't faint. Your Pokemon died. But yeah, I agree with you. Yes, Gen 6 wasn't that bad. Like, the only reason people thought Gen 6 was that bad was because the hardcore Pokemon fans who loved metagaming Pokemon and basically getting into the nitty gritty and locking away other activities didn't like how accessible Gen 6 was to people who didn't want to spend hours and days and like a long period of time doing that kind of stuff.
They didn't like how easy it was with the EXP share.
Yeah, but like I said, like if you don't want to spend hours leveling up your Pokemon, like Gen 6 was great for basically letting you level up your teams and get in there without having to spend a lot of time doing it. I mean, the problem with Pokemon now is that they've gone too far. It's become too casual. Like it went too far. Like Gen 6 was casual, and then they started tipping in the opposite direction. So now it's too casual.
That's true.
To the point where it's just like, is this Pokemon anymore? Anyone else?
The thing about
no, go ahead.
The thing about the reason because I stopped playing Pokemon after Yellow, and I think the real reason I just stopped keeping up with Pokemon is it gets expensive, especially as a kid, because you kind of want to keep up with the toys and the games and the cards, and plus it just I think a lot of other people moved on. I mean, I knew one kid that at least got one of the games every year. He got the about Crystal before anybody else, or Ruby and Sapphire. So I don't know.
That's what I used to do. I used to wait until they came out with the combined version. So I got red when it first came out, and then I got yellow, and I never got blue, and then I got crystal instead of silver and gold. Because I mean, personally, I wish Game Freak would do that again. Pokemon Company would do that again. Instead of just having the separate versions of everything separate, just like combine the stuff. Because I mean, I get tired of having to trade. Because some people do trades and they're a-holes. Like they'll trade you a level 10 Pokemon with some of the worst stats, some of the worst TMs. I'm like, you mother.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
trolling.
man.
Like, or like when they
Or
demand when you want
they
a
go the
legendary
opposite direction
Pokemon.
and go. Yeah, I was about to say that they go in that direction, or they go in the other direction where you can ask for a normal Pokemon in exchange for a God Pokemon.
I'd rather have that than the second one. But yeah, I get what you're saying. My unpopular opinion is about video games, but not video games specifically. It's about fans of certain companies. If you are a Sega fan, Nintendo fan, Sony fan, Microsoft fan, whatever you're a fan of, okay, um, learn to accept criticism, okay, for your favorite thing, okay. Because here's the thing, okay, there is absolutely no perfect company or perfect product from a company because everything is open to criticism because nothing is perfect. There is absolutely no perfect company. There are products that I love. Like I love the Super Nintendo. There are certain things about the Super Nintendo that suck. Like the fact that a lot of shooters and fighters had slowdown. That's not cool.
Oh yeah, like Street Fighter. I mean, even the yeah, I think I remember playing the Super Nintendo emulated emulator emulated version of the Street Fighter 2 on the Wii U, and I noticed that there was a lot of slowdown anytime you did like a Hadouken or one of the super moves.
Yeah,
It's like, why?
it's just like, and that was just that was the architecture because they had a processor that wasn't overclocked or anything.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was just technical reasons or if that was just
it was a slow
archi-
processor. Yeah. The Super Nintendo was built for platformers, RPGs. That's where its strength was.
yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I like RPGs. But I mean, if people say, "Hey, man, that slowdown," don't always jump to defend. Look, it had slowdown. Okay, you know. Doesn't mean people didn't enjoy playing certain games on it. It just means that it wasn't perfect. There were issues with it. Same thing with the PlayStation. Yeah, the PlayStation had a great library. There also was a lot of shovelware. Okay, and a lot of the 3D games on the original PlayStation age like shit.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, as a matter of fact, you could say that about any of the 3D games of the 5th gen. A lot of those 3D 5th gen games look like garbage. Okay? Hot buttered ass.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's on everything. Okay? Like Castlevania 64 looks terrible.
There's only very few games, 3D games in that era that are, that are tolerable to look at.
Yeah, you want to know the 3D games that did well on the N64, really. They were the 3D games that had simplistic or highly stylized art styles. If they tried to do something realistic, they looked bad.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay?
That goes for both consoles, really.
Yeah. 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 But conversely, on the other end of the spectrum, there were games on the what were you saying, Jewel?
I was I wasn't saying anything, but I was about to say that I voiced my unpopular opinion a little bit.
Well, what I was going to say is that conversely, there were games on the. Conversely, there were games on the. There were games on the N64 that were multiplats that were better on the N64 than they were on the PlayStation. Like Gauntlet Legends. Gauntlet Legends on the PlayStation is terrible. It is a steaming pile of dog shit. Gauntlet
Rayman
Legends
2
on the
on the-
N64 is great.
Rayman 64 on the N64 runs way better than it does on the PlayStation.
Yeah. So, it's don't always be like, "Oh no, this game is terrible." I'm like, "Look, man, some games are good, some games are terrible." It's not, no console is perfect. No company is perfect, and they are open to criticism. Uh, you know, whether you're a fan or not. Like I'm not a fan of the Sega Saturn, but there are some games on the Saturn that are great. So,
Yeah.
like Shining Force 3. I know some people are going to get mad about that. How dare you? Yeah, Shining Force 3 is actually pretty good. Shocking, I know. But, yeah. But anyway, that's my unpopular opinion. I'm going to,
You forgot what you were gonna say?
No, that's the end. That was my unpopular opinion. That's the end of the podcast. Anything you guys want to pimp out
Okay.
before we wrap things up?
Yeah, Project Console podcast Tuesdays at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about news, where we talk about the news of the week and various topics pertaining to gaming, of course. And I'm also working on a Wii U retrospective. I just finished the introduction, recording the introduction voiceover, and now I'm gonna work on the first part of the video. So be on the lookout for that.
All right. Anything you want to pimp out, Joel?
With things going on, I'm kind of SOL right now. But one thing I can at least say real quick. Hopefully I could be able to not have to worry about Apple trying to make another another make another iPhone for a while.
What, something happened to your iPhone?
I don't use iPhone.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I see more people screaming that this is going to be the next step in phone evolution.
Yeah, but they say stupid stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, which is kind of what my unpopular opinion is, anyways.
All
That
right.
somehow I feel Apple gets away with too much.
They do, but I mean, because they have that fan base who will never question them on anything.
Yeah, the cult of Apple.
It's like Apple, everything they make is great. I'm like, for real? you're gonna say that with a straight face?
I mean, those guys are worse than any console fan that I've seen.
No. I've seen Nintendo fans that are like Apple fans. I've seen Sony fans that are like Apple fans. I've seen Microsoft fans who are like Apple fans. Anytime someone makes a valid criticism about your platform of choice and you can't at least countenance the idea that their criticism might come from a place of validity, or at least they have a reasoning behind
I've
what
seen
they're
that a
saying.
lot worse with Apple, buddy.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's where I am. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's where I'm kind of like, okay, like this, y'all got to do better than that. But that's my own personal opinion. So yeah, I'm working on. I had this idea just came to me. I'm gonna do like a little short series, or not a short series, but a long form video where I'm gonna talk about games that really kind of make me that I enjoy, that are like Legend of Zelda, but not Legend of Zelda. You know, take the Zelda formula and do something cool with it. And I think
Mhm.
the first one I'm going to talk about is one of my personal favorites, which is Darksiders 2. Love me some Darksiders 2, Darksiders and Darksiders 2. Love those two games, and they are like very Legend of Zelda heavy, but not Legend of Zelda. So definitely be talking about those games. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Rate, comment, share, subscribe, and
Don't forget to hype responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
that's correct. So peace, good night, and have a happy Labor Day. Or not Labor Day,
Later.
Veterans Day. Veterans Day. You know, support your veterans.